welcome to the video. This is vlog number 1. Today, I'm doing some maintenance on this car, and after that, I will take my friends on a quick afternoon getaway to a mountain to enjoy the sunset. First, let me start this car and move it to the garage. Right now, this car is parked in the Moss parking lot behind my house. I'm going to put this car into the garage so I can work on it. What I'm going to do today is changing the tie rods on this thing. Start the process, I need to jack up the car and lift the wheels off the ground. Once that's done, I remove the wheels using an impact gun. After taking the wheels off, I have always placed the wheels under the lift spring. This wheel acts as a failsafe if the jack fails, so the car won't fall to the ground entirely. Now let's pull out the old tie rod. Tie rods are designed with a tapered end, so the best way to loosen them is by hammering the knuckle where the tie rod mounts, not hitting directly to the tie rod. So why am I changing the tie rod? Well, last week I experienced something called jet wobble. Happens when one side of the tire hitting an uneven patch of road, causing the steering and the front axle to wobble uncontrollably. This happened because of the worn out steering components such as tie rods. Here's the new tie rods. This is the OEM replacement original from Daihatsu. I'm tightening this tie rod using a 22mm impact socket. Now I'm also changing the drag link. This drag link is not actually original Daihatsu. This is tie rod ends from a Mitsubishi PS120, a type of dump truck. Why I changed using this tie rod? Because the original Daihatsu is non-repairable, meaning that you have to replace the entire unit. Using this tie rod ends from PS120, I could replace just the end without replacing the whole unit. After tightening the knot, using a cutter pin, this pin acts as a safety measure. It keeps the knot from coming loose completely if it ever starts to loosen. Now that the tie rod and the drag links are installed, I will put the wheels back on and tighten them with an impact gun. And with that, the maintenance is done. After the maintenance is done, I've secured the wheels and the tie rod, and now it's the time for a quick getaway with my friend. Let's get to the car and head out to Gunung Pabeasan in Argasari, Kabupaten Bandung. changing the tie rods, I could feel a huge difference in the car's stability. Before, even at 40 kilometers an hour, hitting an uneven patch of road would cause the death wobble and make the steering uncontrollable. It was honestly terrifying, but now the car is stable and feels as good as new. The route that I choose to Gunung Pabiasan is a bit different from the usual. It's rocky with uneven roads and winds through the woods. My friends and I are having a good laugh as we tackle this bumpy terrain. You can hear the laughter.
Extra.
Before we climb this hill, I switched the car transfer case into 4L or 4 low range. This mode gives the car more torque, which is perfect for steep inclines. This is my 1993 Daihatsu TAF. Daihatsu produced this model between 1984 and 2002. Daihatsu TAF was known by many different names worldwide, such as Daihatsu Rocky for Australia, Daihatsu Ruger for Japan, and Daihatsu Fortrack in the UK. In Indonesia, it's called Daihatsu TAF for the 4-wheel drive version and Highline for the long wheelbase 2-wheel drive version. This car actually technically a Daihatsu Highline F69, not the F70, because this is the short wheelbase and originally a 2-wheel drive model. The interior of this car is mostly stock, with only a few upgrades. I have installed a head unit and the audio system in this car, because that didn't come from the factory. Well, probably it did, but I didn't get it when I bought this car. I have installed an aftermarket gauge for the water temperature and the voltmeter. Because this is a 2-wheel drive version originally, so it doesn't have the 4x4 indicator on the speedometer. In the back, the seating arrangement is quite unique. This has a bench-style seats that face each other, allowing it to carry more passengers. When needed, the seats can be folded up to create more cargo space. This car isn't in pristine condition. For example, the rear door has some rust. But overall, this is still a solid car. Under the hood is a 2.8-liter DL42 diesel engine, which is an indirect injection diesel. This engine remains mostly stock, and I make sure to perform regular maintenance every 3,000 miles. However, I have plans to upgrade it with a turbo from a Daihatsu Ruger DL52 or DL62, which would transform the naturally aspirated diesel into a turbocharged diesel engine. Now let's take a look under the car. This front differential actually a rear differential that have been modified into front one. This is the tie rod ends and the drag link we have just replaced earlier today. The drivetrain of this car have been modified. Because this car originally a 2-wheel drive, I'm not using the original transfer case to make it 4-wheel drive. Instead, I'm using a first generation Kia Sportage. As you can see the Kia logo on the transfer case. You can also see the 2.5-inch stainless steel exhaust that I've made custom for this car. This car might not be the cleanest or the prettiest, but it runs well, and has taken me to countless memorable places with my friends. Might not be the prettiest, but it holds a lot of sentimental value for me. I have plenty of plans for its future, but now it's a dependable companion that I'm proud to call my own. That's it, vlog number 1 done. Thank you for watching.